Just because she only scored 98 on the math test, the school beauty actually took off her underwear right in front of the whole class. But strangely, it seemed like no one else noticed. When the guy snapped back to reality, he was shocked to discover that what happened minutes ago was replaying itself. His score was still 52, but the only difference was that Takamine's test score, which was originally 98, had now become 100. After class, the more he thought about it, the more something felt off. What bothered him most was that he'd already seen Takamine remove her undergarments twice today. Earlier during lunch break, when he'd snuck into the sports equipment room, he accidentally caught Takamine changing clothes. Despite himself, he couldn't help but glance back at her. The beautiful sight was something he couldn't forget. He decided he needed to get to the bottom of this. So when he saw Takamine, he said straight up, "I just saw your score should have been 98, right?" Hearing this, Takamine's expression changed instantly. She immediately asked, "Have you told anyone else about this?" Learning that he hadn't, Takamine let out a sigh of relief. But the next second, she pushed him against the wall and told him she already knew about the equipment room incident. Takamine had an absolutely ridiculous superpower called the Virgin who has not yet been defiled. By removing her undergarments, she could make things that had happened become unhappened. But this ability had two drawbacks. First, the removed underwear would disappear. Second, anyone who had seen her body would retain their memory of what they saw. This ability was practically tailor-made for Takamine, because whether it was academics or sports, she had to be number one. She discovered this power in 5th grade. Back then, she was really strong in sports, but during one track meet, she got food poisoning. What should have been a first-place finish became second place. Unwilling to accept defeat, she lost control of her bladder. Little did she know that when she removed her soiled underwear, she'd taken first place. After hearing all this, the guy wanted to get the hell out of there. He was clearly way out of his league with this girl. However, the reason Takamine told him all this was because she wanted him to be her personal wardrobe. After all, her underwear disappeared whenever she used her ability, and changing clothes came with the risk of being seen. But the guy wanted nothing to do with her and flatly refused. However, Takamine wasn't about to let such a perfect mobile wardrobe slip away. The next second, Takamine forced him to push her down and then screamed assault. In less than 3 minutes, a crowd of students rushed in, and some girls had even called the police. Combined with Takamine's acting skills, the guy was probably looking at spending the rest of his life in prison. Was his life really going to end like this? Understanding the situation, the guy realized he had no choice but to beg Takamine to use her ability. And just like that, the guy who'd fallen into her trap became Takamine's mobile wardrobe.